Greetings, it's your boy Gartasia. Just got back from a wonderful run along the beach side. It might be Chicago, but it was feeling like Tampa, Florida today. Today, I've been contemplating, and people, what's been on my mind is people absolutely sell themselves short. People absolutely rather stay working really hard and not use their brain and be poor than work less and use their brain and be wealthy, right? Before I break that down, let me tell you a story that really kind of, cemented that in my head. So, coming to you live from Treehouse headquarters, I'm out here sweating. Please forgive the wetness. Please forgive the body juice. You feel me? But so my every year, my company, right, the company I work for, they do a town hall, right? So basically, the town hall. After the town hall, there's a this thing called happy hour. So the town hall is basically just like a summary of the year. What have different parts of the company been working on? People give presentations. It's just an opportunity for like the different departments to learn a little bit about what the other departments do, and pretty much it's an opportunity for just people to hear what's new with the company, right? Like what's on the horizon, what are new, clients they're working with, et cetera, et cetera. So during the Zoom call, right, one of the staff on the marketing department, I'm not going to say her name, but she put an excellent presentation down, just explaining the process of how the company acquires clients, right? The process of how the company, goes out, builds relationships with the clients. She even went so far to say how, like, even if they don't get the client, the process of I think it's called review or remediation, where even if they don't get it, they go back to the client and still maintain that relationship. She talks about how the media, how they're constantly, studying, becoming obsessed, with their audience, with what type of clients they have, and just the steps of the relationship, right? Like the prospecting phase, the phase where, you already got the client, and then the phase where now it's just maintaining the relationship. Long story short, it was an extremely well put together presentation. I'm sweating bullets here, so um, but yeah, this is Gartasia Raw, you feel me? So we out here in nature on some Adam and Eve, Garden of Eden, Genesis book shit, you feel me? However, so yeah, an excellent presentation, right? After that, we kind of log off the Zoom call, and then everyone's kind of just drinking, socializing, having a happy hour, right? So I kind of hang around, chill for a minute, socialize a little bit, polish those social skills. And, I meet a lot of other people. She had invited other firms there. It was nice. you know, the pandemic, most people have been working from home forever. So it was nice to kind of see some new faces, see some people you haven't seen in a while. Long story short, right? When I was about to leave, on my way out, she's this bubbly, amazing person. Like if you've seen her, she always has a big smile. She has the most sweet, pleasant voice to listen to. Like I could listen to her. Like sometimes she's complaining and like saying negative shit, but her voice is so pleasant that I don't even care. Like that's how sweet her voice sounds. She sounds like honey. And it was just nice, hearing her speech. So on my way out, I was like, I'm leaving, but I just wanted to like thank you for that presentation you put together on like marketing and like how you all acquire clients. That was like really well put together. I learned a lot. Thank you. Just expressing my gratitude, right? And then she was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I appreciate that. And I did put a lot of effort into my slides, so it feels good that I notice it. And I was like, "Yeah, I see you, Queen. I see you." And then I left, right? So I tell this story to say, so I kind of go home and I'm thinking like, wow, she literally, like, by the way she put that presentation together and how comfortable she was, and like judging by, I know she's like an old timer. So the firm has been around for 30 years, and I'm pretty sure she's been there for at least 20 plus years, right? So this is somebody who's, been in that career for 20 plus years, right? She has so much knowledge in like, marketing, client acquisition, how to build relationships, how to maintain clients, right? What kind of skills are these? These are entrepreneurial skills, right? These are the skills that your, Iman Gadzhi are using. These are your skills that your Russell Brunson have mastered. These are your skills that your Myron Goldens have mastered, right? The only difference is I don't know how much she's making, but as a marketing executive, I'm pretty sure she's making as much as me as an engineer, maybe a little bit more because her seniority. But my thing is, for the amount of knowledge she was giving, she deserves to make over six figures. And I guarantee you she's not making six figures. So I'm thinking like, and this person, she's a wonderful person, but like I said earlier, she does, she does speak, she has this thing of self-deprecating humor, and it comes from a place of trying to be funny, but I know deep down the self-deprecating humor comes from a place of lack, comes from a place of small-mindedness. She's a wonderful woman, but she often she talks small of herself. She talks about how she's never has money. In conversation, she always brings up how she's always paycheck to paycheck, with her three kids, how she's a single mother. And, that's a reality. And, that's heartfelt. But I was just thinking, like, wow, like, she's out here with all this knowledge, right? Like, literally an expert. But then, like, she's making, like, pennies. That's pennies to me. Even if she is making close to 100K, like, to me that is pennies, especially in this market's atmosphere with inflation, with the way everything is more expensive. Gas has gone up, food has gone up, everything has gone up. And it's like, even if they give you a raise, like I got a raise a few days ago, but that still doesn't compensate for like how much shit is get expensive. Like, you get a raise and you get even more poor. But I say all this to say, it just made me think of like, she works so hard. Luckily her career is something that, actually she could leave this job and then she could, pour that knowledge into like starting her own business. But I was thinking like a lot of people don't even have it as good as her, right? At least like if things ever don't work out for her, I feel like she has the opportunity to like leave and start her own business. But a lot of people, right? They work these 9 to 5s, right? They put in, these crazy hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week, right? Working the fingerprints off their hands, sweat and blood, just toiling physically, right? Feeding their kids, feeding their families. No disrespect, hardworking people, but it's just like they're making pennies on the dollar, right? And it made me wonder, like, why do like some people work so hard but like stay poor for like all their life, And it just really hit me. And I was listening to I believe Marketing Secrets, a podcast by Russell Brunson. He brought on a wonderful, brilliant guest. I believe the guest was Myron Golden. Wonderful marketing YouTubers. Just overall, you know, these are just oracles in my opinion, right? Like, you need to have them on your run, your jog, right? You should be listening to podcasts. You should be listening to them in the shower. Like, if you're really trying to do the thing, you need to be constantly filling your brain with knowledge that is gonna, put you an inch, a foot, a mile ahead of the competition. But I say all this to say, he brought up a great analogy and he really broke it down. He said that really powerful statement. He said that there are four levels of value, right? And basically, he said that you make money, like money isn't something material. He basically tied it to money is something spiritual, right? And you basically make money by giving value, right? And I was like, okay, that checks off. That makes sense. Yeah, because money is something like if you have a job, right? Right? You know that as long as you're on a salary, you're gonna get the money. So it's like as long as you keep working, giving value, you'll get the money. So it's almost like you have money security, right? Money security just means that you have the potential to make money in the future, right? But that means that you don't have it in the present. So it can't be something physical, right? Because if you have security of something in the future, that means that you have it now. Like, and I don't want to like be too whoop 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 with it, but you know what I mean. Like, money, it has the potential to be something that can make you secure without you actually having it because you have the potential. So that's why it's spiritual. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then you give value and then you receive the money. So that checked off to me. And then he said there's four levels of value. So he was like, the first level of value is physical, right? And he said that each level of value has one resource, right? Except there's the fourth level, right? So the highest level of money, that is the has two resources. And then I love how he broke it down. He said basically the first level of value is physical, right? So muscle, so physical means you exchange, your muscle. You exchange, a task. You can basically complete a task that's already been kind of, there's rules for it. You know how to do it. You just do it, right? So the doers get paid the less, right? So that's how the value pyramid is. The first level, they get paid the less, but they're the doers. And then the resource is the muscle, right? They use their muscles, right? They use their muscles to get it done. And these people can make anywhere on the lower end, as far as money making, they can make anywhere from like, you know, 10,000 a year, 15,000 a year to 80K at the high end, like a mechanic, a really skilled mechanic can make 80K. Some truck drivers make 80K. You could probably make 100, about 100K, I would say, just by knowledge, right? I would put drafters in this group too. Anything that is like a skill, right? Things that you would go to a vocational college for, all of these, I would put that in that category, right? You can make a decent money out of it, but it's capped. You are capped at about 100K. Like at the highest level, you're not making more than 100K doing like a labor type job. So that's the first value, right? And now, okay, some people go to college, right? So a lot of your college people, they have the potential to go into this next value level. And this next level of value is management, right? So this is an overall group of management. So this could be people who like went to school for engineering. Obviously, that's not management, but you have the potential to go into management from there, right? Like if you start off as just engineer level one, where you're just drafting stuff, where you're just going to surveys, you can graduate, take your PE, and then boom, now you can be a manager, right? Managing a team. So basically, the manager's the second value ladder, right? And their resource is, guiding people. These are the people who tell the doers what to do, right? And they make more money than the doers. So that's how it's kind of separated. And these people can make anywhere from 40K. So 40K being like your, McDonald's manager, your Taco Bell manager. And then they cap out about like 300K though, right? Like I'm talking about Silicon Valley managers. The most these guys are making 250, 300K. So these are CFOs, presidents. They're not making, I'll be generous. I'll even say 400, 500K. They're not making more than 400K, right? So managers at the highest level, they're not making 400K. He's the president, what makes 500K a year? So yeah, they're not making that much. And yeah, now the third value ladder is where you really break through, right? And become crazy rich. So the third value ladder is it's communication, right? So communication is the third value ladder. And the resource for communication is using your mouth. All right. So basically, you learn to use your mouth, right? You are poised. You are well poised to making more money than somebody, physical, right? You're making more money than somebody leading the people who are doing physical work, right? And what are your communicators? Your communicators are your Oprah Winfrey's, right? Your communicators are your, motivational speakers. Your communicators are what I'm doing right now, right? Your communicators are, don't mistake professors with communicators. They're not, professors are still considered like laborers because yes, they are using their mouth, but they're still preaching something that has already been written about, right? Whereas communicators, they're using their, their words to touch your heart, right? They're using their imagination to touch your heart. So that's different. Creativity, right? So communicators use, the tool that they use is their mouth. And communicators are singers, actors, anybody. These people, have the potential to inspire you, right? People say that people make decisions based off of logic, but no, people actually make decisions, right? Such as buy things, such as fall in love, such as, commit crimes of passion, whatever. People say it's logical. No, it's emotional, but then people then try to justify the emotion using logic, right? But so yeah, basically communications, and then they can make, that's where like it's stupid money. Like communication people, they can make upwards of, like at the low end, like say if you're just like, somebody's getting paid to speak at a school, 80K, 100K at the low end. Like at the very lowest, these guys are making 80K, six figures. At the high end though, these guys can make anywhere hundreds of millions. You have actors, your Denzel Washingtons, your Leonardo DiCaprios. These guys bring in 100, million a movie, right? So at the high end, you're making hundreds of millions, right? But it stops around the 500 million mark. You notice a lot of these guys never get past a billion, right? Unless they do something else, right? So the 500 million mark, 1 billion max, right? That's what these guys can make but like total, but like per year, 100 million caps, right? So yeah, if you're in this area, just stop watching the video. Like that's good, you know. But if you're trying to like go to the next level, so these are your, before I talk about that though, the last level is, so we talked about muscle, right? Muscle, that's the first value. The second value level is we talked about management. The third value level is communication. The fourth value level, right? It's actually a value level. It is imagination. It's creativity. Basically, and the tools, right? The resources for it is your brain, right? So your mind, and then money. So don't trip out. Like, wait, money is not a resource. Think about it. We just said money's something spiritual, right? So these people at the highest level, right? Not only are they using their creativity, right, to make money, they're also using money to make money. So that allows them like limitless potential money wise, right? So these people, these are your Bill Gates, these are your Steve Jobs, rest in peace. These are your, you got Kevin Gates going crazy right now. These are your Kanye Wests. These are, yes, he ascended. He passed the communicator stage when he used his imagination, right, to get into fashion, and then that's what took him out. You see, and he also put in the money, right? The money that he got from his music, the money he got from communicating, he invested that into property. He invested that into Adidas, Nike, all these different things, right? So now he's using money to make money, and that's what let him exit the communicator stage. That's what let him break the 1 billion, the 9 comma mark, the 9 digits mark, right? So yeah, these are your Kanye West, these are your Jeff Bezos, these are your Elon Musks. These are like your Joe Rogans. Like these people are billionaires, right? Because they use their creativity and their money to make money. Now that you know this, right? You know, it just gives you so much more, point of view. It gives you so much more outlook as to, why, there are poor people who work so hard. And, and like, I understand, like, it's just, what brought me to this is just like, it's just crazy just looking at the stats. I was reading this article, and then it said that by the time people reach the age of 65, right? And this stat, I believe it's like, it might be a little outdated. It might be 15 years ago or something like that. It might be 10 years ago. So things probably got worse. But it says that by the time, and I think the sample sizes of men, right? So before men on average reach the age of 65, if you take a sample of 100 people, right? It said that only one of them would become rich, right? Only one of them would become rich. So think of that. Like, that's crazy. Like, not to like mess up your day, but like, these are the stats in America, right? Only one will become rich. 4 of them on average will become financially free, right? So these are your digital nomads. These are your YouTubers. These are your people who have their own business. Maybe they're not balling, right? But they living comfortably, probably making anywhere from, 200K to 1 million a year, but they're successful, right? 5% are still working. So these are the people, they haven't retired yet. They're still working. They aren't poor, but they're just still working, right? Just to keep up, right? So these people will probably retire soon and then maybe live a comfortable life. But like by the time they have money to blow, they're like 65. So, right? So these are people like they're not successful, but they're not poor, like middle class. Now, here's where it gets grim. So hang on, hold on. Put your seatbelts on. You feel me? 28, right? 28 men, right? By the time they reach 65, before they reach 65, 28 of them will be dead. Let's just take a pause right there, moment of silence. So more people die, right? Just die. So anything, car accident, old age, anything, accidents, before like almost 6 times as many people die than like become successful. So that's just frightening. And now the other 62 people, they're dead broke. So think about that. So financially wise. So we're going back again, right? 1% are rich, 4% are financially free, right? Right? And then, so that's 10%. So basically, 95% of people, only 5% are successful. Other 5% are still working, but they're making money, but they still have to work though to make money. And then 28% are dead. Like they're just in the coffin, 6 feet under, right? 28% are dead. And then you won't believe this, right? 62% are dead broke. So they just have no money, just living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, right? They may be working, they may be not. But this is just the state. This is just the state that we're in, you know, and it just made me think like, wow, like how do we get to this point? Like it's just really, and it goes back to the value thing, right? It's just like you just have to, in this world that we live in, you have to find a way to give value, right? And I can't tell you how to give value, right? Your friend can't tell you how to give value. Joe Blow can't tell you how to give value. Your mom can't tell you how to give value, right? You have to like dig deep and see how you can give value, right? It can be creatively, it can be artistically, it can be musically, it can be, speaking, using your voice. It can be teaching. It can be doing something that's already been done, right? But just using a different platform, right? Like it could be literally somebody who like you could literally read a book and then be like, wow, I just want to talk about this knowledge, but like instead of writing a book, I just want to talk about this knowledge like through a video game. Like just if you can find a creative way to do some old shit or just like or do some literally copy paste something but like just put it in a different format. So do a podcast of like something that's written or like do a video of something that's usually in just audio form. There's so many ways you can be creative, but at the end of the day, you have to really, find out what you're good at, right? Everybody has a skill. Some people are really good vocalists. Some people have good interpersonal skills. Some people are good athletes, right? Their muscles fire in different ways. They can build muscle easily, right? Some people are just, maybe they're very attractive, right? They could be models and then they could find like a way to, teach people how to be better models, cosmetology. Some people have really good rhythm and then, dancing. But the thing is you have to find out, a way you can give value. And then to be successful, you have to find a way, right, to give that value to the most people as possible, right? You can't just give value at a local level. You'll be semi-successful, quasi-successful, right? You'll just stay a small business, small mom and pop forever. But if you really want to like break through that barrier, right? Break through that glass ceiling, you have to find a way. Okay, now I bring value, right? Now how can I magnify it? Or how can I amplify it to reach as many people as possible? And yeah, I just hope, this video didn't depress you, but I just hope that it just, gave you some insight into, why there's so many poor people, the poor mindset that people have. And, hopefully it just inspired you to, really dig deep, find some ways that you can give value and then find it should be something that makes you happy because if you're in the business of giving value, that's going to be a lifelong venture. So, as long as it makes you happy and that you're providing value, find a way to sell it, and then won't have to work another day for the rest of your life because it won't feel like work. Like what I'm doing now doesn't feel like work because I love fucking doing it. If I stopped doing it, I don't know what the fuck I would do. Right? I'm possessed. But yeah, I hope this helped. And yeah, as always, stay hydrated, stay breathing in this good ass oxygen. And most importantly, stay basic. I love you.